stay tuned. Menace Rides, we're going to start making this bike look like a bike. And in our previous videos, we got the engine starting. Time to clean up and get it looking like a bike. Right guys, welcome back to another episode of Menace Rides, where we start actually beautifying this bike, and that all starts with a good proper cleanup. So we've got a bit of degreaser, probably too little. Looking at the state of this bike, we'll probably run up and down to the shop 5 more times for degreaser. Anyway, I put some into a little spray bottle. We've got a hand brush to get into the wheels. We've got some detailing brushes to get into the nitty gritties of the engine and hard to reach places. So stay tuned as we start beautifying this bike. Let's give it its first wash and we can take it from there. I want to possibly take off side covers or refresh them. All the paint is peeling on these main outer covers. I think somebody has sprayed them before. Anyway, let's just give the bike a good clean and see what she looks like. Right, so that's the first wash in 3 years for the BMW. Like I said, I think these wheels are going to clean up nice. We'll still get to polishing them, guys. This is just a basic clean. I've gone over the engine 3 times now with a degreaser, full of oil, looking much better, much better. I think it's going to come out nice if we put some time and effort into it. The engine obviously looks, the paint is tired on the engine obviously. I mean, we can only clean that much. Let me show you. It's all chipping away and looking a little bit horrible, but at least it's clean and we've got something to work with that's clean, which is awesome. Show you the other side, same or similar situation. Not as bad as the other side, but that's the oil filter cap is horrible. That chain, the chain cog space was caked up full of grease. Like I said, we've gone over it twice. Look at those wires, they look brand new, newer than the bike anyway. And that's it. I'm gonna get this dried up, cleaned up, and I'll talk you through our process. Okay, so the BMW is looking awesome after its first wash. Well, we say awesome, but it needs a lot of work, obviously. And this is where we come. Well, let's have a look at it. Look at that engine bay. Everything's looking a lot better. Everything's dried off. I did use an air compressor like you guys saw, just to get all the water out. It's been about 3 days since I washed it. I've, had other commitments, but we're back onto the BMW again. For you guys, it's just it's immediate, but for me it was 3 days. Alright, when we get to this point, guys, we've got to realize what we want out of this bike and how much time we're willing to put into it. And I think it deserves a good restoration. It's been well neglected and I want to get this bike looking great. It's just the way I want to do things. So process and procedure needs to be adhered to, because it's very easy to get carried away with all the easy fun stuff and like sort of avoid the harder stuff. I'm gonna get started in the process of working my way from the front to the back. So basically what I'm going to be doing is trying to recondition everything as best as I can from front to rear, and once that's done I can then do a proper polish on everything and, well, reveal the bike as a final product. So what I'm going to be focusing on today is the headlight. When I'm on low beam it's shooting high beam, and when I'm on high beam it's shooting low beam, so something's got to be switched around behind that headlight. I'm going to be taking this cowl off. I did spray it previously but the paint didn't take too well, so I'm going to do a good sand up on that, respray on that, get the headlight fixed. Then I will put the new screen I've got, see, fun bit coming. Once that's done guys, I'll then move on to the handlebars. So again, just following a process of back to front. I'm going to remove the bar ends, make them look good again, put new grips on, remove all these controls and mirror holdings and switch gears, get these handlebars off, get them looking new again or as close to new, get the whole upper triple T clamp cleaned up, polished up, and from there work our way back, you know. And that might mean touching up the framework, getting that looking good, working my way around the motor, perhaps doing a paint on some of the side covers, tidying up all these wires, getting all that back together, working my way to the back, setting the chain select, checking the swing arm, checking the rear bushings on the rear sprocket, double checking the sprocket, cleaning up on the exhaust. I have to take these off and repair them or renew them or replace them. Hard to find these guys. I can't find anybody selling a pair of the original rear pillion handles, so I might have to get thrifty and do some sort of a DIY repair on that, only because I want it looking good. So without wasting too much time, it's already late in the afternoon and I want to make some good progress on this. I'm going to put you guys aside, and like I said, you can expect me working in the front and making my way to the back. Enjoy. We had a temporary fix on our wire that we did previously. I grabbed an extra little bit of wire just to extend that wire because it has come loose from there again. Connection's not looking too great. I'm going to try clean that up, solder it up, put the headlamp back in and test for the high and low beam, and hopefully that's a fix. Okay, our wire connection's back in. Let me show you how that looks. So I managed to get a piece of wire back in there and actually soldered to the brass connector. So we've extended our wire, I've soldered it there and there. I'll just need to insulate it, put some heat shrink, and that's it, sorted. I'll put a bulb in there now and test it, and hopefully we're all good. Perfect. High beam, low beam is working correctly. Park light, daylight, running light is working. I can close this up. I'm going to clean up behind here. Clean all that up. Get that repainted and put it back in. Alright guys, I've got my headlight unit sanded and rinsed and cleaned twice. The thing with spray painting or painting any product is to make sure, you know, your hands are clean or you wear gloves. You don't want to be touching it on too much, because the oils of your hands or oil from touching things around the workshop will contaminate the paint job and the effect you're going to get. I'm using a Autotek matte black spray paint. I might leave the description of that in the I might leave the link to the product in the description below, so have a look out for that. It's just a simple eBay purchase, but I find it works perfect on a lot of applications. Bumpers for cars, plastics, it's got a good adhesion and a nice even coat and spray. So here we go. I'm holding it in my hand just so I can get a full rotation and grab every corner. Always, you just want to give a light coat to introduce the paint. You don't want to go too heavy on your first coat. I like to go around all the edges first, just to make sure we've got the basis. Again, I'm not trying to get full coverage on the first coat, I'm just trying to introduce the paint smoothly to the plastic of the product. With that dry, it should set off about 8 minutes. About a 20 centimeters distance away, just to gauge your spray, you don't get any runs. At that point, you have to wait for it to dry and spray again. That's it, we're not going to get carried away. That's our first coat starting to look better. We'll set that down to dry, and while that dries I'm going to start stripping on the handlebars and prepping other bits and bobs that need doing. Go down slowly. Let that dry. Alright guys, while we wait for our head unit to dry up on its first coat of paint, I'm going to be removing the hand guard, the bar end, the grip, the switch gear for our on, off and start, our mirror unit, and same thing on that side. This is what it looks like before, just so you guys get an idea. That one's missing a grip, not as scratched up as the other one, but hopefully we can get them out. It's our handlebar, not looking the greatest. Let me show you from the cockpit or the driver's seat. This is how it's looking. I'm going to try to get that a little bit better guys. Same thing, I'm going to remove the parts, strip them, clean them, sand them and paint them. Okay guys, so while our head unit is drying that we've just sprayed 2 coats on, we'll probably put a 3rd coat on that. I started removing the handlebars and everything else, and like I said, be careful with the heated grips. I made a mistake, I've soldered that back together now. But I just want to show you something else that I found on this bike, and this is what you're going to find in project bikes, especially if they're old enough that people have potentially tried to do some DIY maintenance on it. I'm doing DIY, obviously I'm doing it myself or do it yourself, but you do find botched jobs, and that's what I just found. Let me show you. So on the switch gear for the run cycle, so basically the on off run cycle, we found a couple of problems inside here. That black wire was loose. That goes to, no, not to the heated grip. There's the heated grip selectors, and then your power on and off. These 2 wires guys have been soldered by somebody else previously. I've just resoldered them. That's these 2 here, that's the blue and green and the white. They were on a thread and basically just fell apart. So what I've done, if you can have a look here, what I'm doing is I'm soldering them together, and it doesn't want to zoom now, focus. Alright, after soldering, a nice trick or a tidbit is to take a little bit of a glue gun and melt a little bit of glue over it just to isolate it and insulate it. I'm going to be doing the same everywhere that I find a problem with the wiring. So one of those things, at least we're not watching the paint dry, we're carrying on with what needs to be done. So I'm just going into the grip where I've just soldered those two wires, and to isolate them from each other because they're right next to each other, and to protect my join, I'm just squeezing the slightest little bit of hot glue over it, and that should seal the deal. Here we go. Perfect, it's working. Always test yourself before you just reassemble everything. I'm wondering if I can push start. I don't have a throttle cable anymore, but I can do it manually because I haven't assembled it. You can see it if it will start today anyway. Just that little bit of motivation when you run into things like this, just to hear the bike start, says, okay, cool, carry on, you know. Come on, why don't you start? Okay, so we have got our handlebars back in, our levers back in. I'll still take them off and do a little bit of a touch up there, but for now I want to get this headlight back in and make sure that this bike starts looking like a bike. This is an awesome moment. A headlight and a headlight stay brake always make the bike look like a bike and give it character, but obviously first we'll have to clean. Here's our refreshed headlight. Strong warrior. Okay, this is a bit of a tricky one, guys, because obviously I'm putting a screen on here. And that means this all gets bolted together as one. So, a bit of a tricky situation. What do you guys think of the screen? Tell me in the comments below whether you think it's a good looking screen. I don't know anything about it. It wasn't the cheapest at the time, so let me know what you think. It's sort of a touring screen, and it's got to help with that wind vibration and all of that. I think it's a must if you're going to do touring. Hopefully it helps with that wind noise a lot of people complain about on these bikes apparently. But we'll have to test drive it and see it for ourselves. Oh, it's got a BMW badge. Maybe it's original. go too tight. Just hand tight and then about a quarter turn and call it done. You don't want to be cracking your new screen, stripping your threads. That's it. I'm eager to give it a walk, guys. I want to see what this looks like. Just a bit of a wee. That that squeegee bottle's been around so long, it's like in need of grease. You can't grease those things because you're going to get grease everywhere else. Yeah, I don't want to do too many circles. I don't want to do too many circle motions because we want to keep our screen looking good. Okay, obviously there's a little bit of lint coming off on this cloth, shouldn't there? Okay, let's get this tape off. That's going to be a good moment. Let's try again, and boom! Guys, this BMW is starting to come together and I love it. I love it when things come together. Right, so I figured it's about time we clean out this fuel tank properly, so I'm going to drain all the fuel out that's in there, and there is a lot in there, so hopefully we get to see what I pull out of here. Hopefully I'm just using a basic syringe with a piece of pipe and an adapter to try to suck everything out. There is a lot of bad in here. That doesn't look good. Do you see that? See the color of that? Does that look like good fuel to you? I don't think so. Show you what we pulled out of here. That fuel looks like orange juice. Maybe it'll settle down and then you'll see what I'm looking at, but there's a lot of sand, maybe grit inside here as well, so hopefully get some of that. See, now that's starting to look like better fuel, and I think that's purely because what was in there was a little bit of water and fuel. That's why we had that orange juice looking mix, and obviously bubbling up as I'm putting it through. Just trying to get right at the bottom there. Right guys, so that's it for this episode on the BMW F650 GS rebuild part 6. It's coming along very nicely now, and if you stay tuned, in the next episode we're going to be laying down some paint, repairing our fairings, not buying fairings. We're going to actually repair our fairings, so stay tuned. It's going to be an interesting episode. It's going to get a custom one-off bespoke paint job, so stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe. Menace Rides.